Hey, how's everybody doing today? So I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. I don't want to get too distracted with all this nonsense, but um, before I forget, um, if you're ever in the need for automotive work, I strongly, very strongly suggest that you never take your automobile or anything that needs work done to Mark Weaver out at Fast Forward Pro Performance on Newark Road in Zanesville, as well as uh, Donald Cosgrave at Cosmos out in Cambridge. These two mechanics are two of the worst mechanics I have ever had the displeasure of uh, seeing their work. Not to mention that their work ethic sucks. They're whiny little drama queens, and all they do is bitch and moan about everything. Promise the world, oh, I can do that. I can do everything. I can move mountains. It's no problem. And then when it comes to actually doing the work, well, that's the problem. Because basically, what happened is that these jackasses have managed to essentially destroy my car. I mean, not totally, but destroy most of the work that I did. Which, being a novice at best, this is the first car that I've built on my own or built altogether at all, and then this is the first engine that I've worked on and built entirely, and it's all been myself. I just learned as I was going, and so between the uh, installing the parts and like doing the paint work and everything on the engine and on the car itself. Um, I mean, I enjoy that kind of stuff, but yeah, I did way better work than what these mechanics did. And according to them, they're not just mechanics. They don't just work on engines. They do it all. They do paint. They do body. They do whatever. So this is what they say. They're the best. We're the best in town. Other people say they're the best in town. But I'm going to show you the pictures and you can be the judge. Because from what I've seen, if this is the best in town, holy shit. I don't want to know what the worst is. I can't even fathom what the worst could be if this is the best. So it's a lesson learned. It was a gamble. But hey, I mean, when you get, I don't know if word of mouth is the correct phrase. Um, I guess it is. When you get word of mouth uh, advertisement, when I'm being told by other people that, hey, yeah, Mark Weaver, he's a good mechanic, does good work. You can trust him. All this stupid shit. Yeah, it was all lies. Maybe they could because they're probably from here and they're probably buddies. Probably scamming people. Working the angles. Doing the 1-2, good cop, bad cop, all that kind of shit to scam people out of money and not actually do the work that they've been hired to do. So that's breach of contract. They committed fraud. Uh, More so, Mark Weaver. But yeah, it's breach of contract and breach of trust because our original agreement was that he'd do the tailgate, get it together with the glass, get it working with a new lock cylinder in it, and uh, get the engine running. There's a few last few parts: the alternator, the distributor, the radiator, think that was about it. Oh, and then also he installed the pivot arm for the accelerator pedal. So all of that took him 2 months. Most of it is a hack job. It looks like a 6-year-old was wrenching on my car. If I mean I'm speaking of it, I don't know what it looks like a 6-year-old wrenching on a car would be, but if I could imagine it, it would be this. When I've got hose clamps wrapped around transmission coolant lines, which are the hose clamps for the radiator hoses, where they've been cut and spliced together with a bent coupler. Because the guy told me not to worry about getting a new radiator because I accidentally ordered the wrong radiator to begin with. The bottom outlet was on the wrong side. It was on the passenger side. I needed it on the driver's side. So instead of just letting me order a new radiator, or him ordering a radiator, I mean, after all, I paid him $1,500. No, he does a hack job, and I'll show you in the pictures. It's atrocious. I'm sure probably some of the coolant was spraying out of this idiot's hack job on the coolant hose, on the lower coolant hose. Just unbelievably the worst work I've ever seen. I've seen people do work for free that do better work than this. And this guy's getting paid to do work? No, I seriously hope that he doesn't do this kind of work on a regular basis. My guess is that he either knows somebody in town that has hurt feelings because of me, and so he's trying to get back at me for them, which is more than likely probably part of the deal. It's the good old boy mentality around here. There's a lot of nepotism and bigotry, and it's just that typical. I don't know what you call it, inbred mentality. I don't know. I don't know. Unreal. So yeah, I would steer clear of those two shops, Cosmos in Cambridge and Fast Forward Performance. That should have been my first clue. In or on Newark Road. I think it's Newark Road, Zanesville, Ohio. So if you're ever in the area and need automotive work, do not, for the love of God, I'm telling you, I'm not going to say begging, do not take your car there, because you will probably be sadly disappointed, if that's the right way to say it. So, anyways, back to my car. So the good thing is now is that my car is back with me. Now I can relax knowing that it's not in the hands of a bunch of idiots and morons. Um, Now I can figure out what the hell they did to screw it up worse and fix their shitty work. And then figure out why the hell the car isn't running right. Of course, the mechanic blames me. I mean, it might be, but at some point, I mean, I would think as a mechanic, reaching out to a customer and saying, "Hey, by the way, the timing might be off on this. I really need to get in and make sure that the timing is correct in all of this. And if I do that, this is what's going to cost. Are you okay with that?" That would be the thing to do as a mechanic, as a business owner, as an operator, to uh, talk to your customers and be transparent with your customers. But no, what these drama queens do is they hem and haw, and they throw like um, what do you call it? Vague references at things, and expect me to just understand what the hell they're saying. Um, like I don't get it. Like, they just can't be direct, and that's my first sign of dishonesty when they can't be direct. It means they have something to hide. They it's a personality flaw. Um, because I mean, hell, if it was my business, I'd be like, hell, this is what I need to do. Do you want me to fix your car? Yeah, I want you to fix my car. Okay, well, this is what I need to do. This is how much it's going to cost. That's how it works. But no, this guy. Anyways, so yeah, steer clear of those shops. I'm happy that my car is back with me now, and I can get it running right and continue working on it and be happy with it. And know now that it won't be going to idiot mechanics ever again. It will not ever go back to either one of these two moronic mechanics. Um, and on top of that, I'm not sure if both of them, but I think at this point, definitely the second one uh, has earned himself a prize um, because of the breach of contract and the breach of trust. Because we had an agreement for him to do the work, get the car running and everything, and driving, and then do the tailgate too. And the budget was between $1,000 and $2,000. Um, so as he was doing the work, and I noticed he was doing less and less work, I figured, well, maybe he needs some motivation, so I gave him a little bit more money. Also thinking that maybe he needs some more money for parts. Maybe he's just broke and he can't afford the parts and he needs to fix my car. So I was like, okay, well here's a little bit more of the money down that we talked about, so that way you can afford to get parts and all that kind of stuff, whatever you need. Keep the lights on in the shop or whatever. Uh, Little did I know that he would be a greedy son of a bitch and take my money, not do any of the work properly, uh, not finish any of the work, and ruin a lot of the work that I did. Ruin the entire paint job on the engine. It all needs to be redone. From the coolant, there was coolant all over the engine. The oil pan, the heads, the block, and the intake are all have been covered and saturated with coolant, and it looks like that it ran and got hot with the coolant on there, and so it's completely just destroyed the paint. So at this point, I would have to tear the engine down and repaint all the parts and put it all back together to make it look right. So that's what he did for me. I paid him to do work to get the car running and put the tailgate together to make it secure and put the glass in there. And what he did was destroyed my car and made it so it's not running, even though it starts. I mean, I guess that's all he really did was got it to where it cranks. And I mean, you saw in the video if you watched it. I got it to start that one time, but now I can't get it to start anymore. There's not much spark there. I don't know. He made a comment about the car's eating plugs, so he probably did something wrong with the carburetor. He mentioned about replacing the jet in the carburetor, but he probably didn't do that either. So the jet's probably too big in the carburetor, or he put just a bigger one in there because he's an idiot. Um, who knows? Who the hell knows? But it is what it is. It's a learning lesson. It was a gamble sending in my car to either of these idiots because I don't know who I can trust ever. So I give people the opportunity to prove to me if they're trustworthy. And when like these two morons utterly and miserably fail, almost almost like purposefully. It was almost purposefully. Both of them acted kind of the same way. It was like they just did what they wanted to do, and then they were done with it. And unfortunately, the second one, Mark Weaver out at Fast Forward Performance, when I got the car back from him, it looked like the car sat outside with the hood up in the rain for like 2 weeks. Uh, So that could be, I mean, hell, for all I know, that could be what the liquid is up on the intake. It could be water from rain. It might not be coolant. I can't tell because I got black paint on the intake, so I can't tell the color of the liquid. But that's a possibility. I'll have to take a paper towel out and see if it comes up green or red. I'm not sure what color the coolant is. But yeah, that's entirely a possibility that he just left my car outside in the rain with the hood up so the engine could get destroyed. I mean, other than the coolant that he allowed to spray all over the fucking place. I mean, it appears to me like he had the car running for possibly hours, or like, I don't know, maybe even like an hour. I'm probably exaggerating in hours, but it looks like the car got hot enough, like at running temperature at least, and with the fact that the coolant being sprayed out, he probably left the car running and the car ran out of coolant and probably overheated, and so that cooked all the coolant into the paint and ruined the paint. Absolutely ruined the paint. So now he's cost me more money because I've either got to find someone else to redo what he screwed up and also do the work that he was supposed to do, or I got to do it myself. But it's still going to cost me more money because I have to get the materials to redo the shit that they screwed up, the paint, the time, and the materials for tearing down the engine and putting it back together. That's an extra cost now that I have to bear because of this shoddy workmanship. So, because of the breach of contract, because of the fraud, oh, you're damn right. You're damn right he won a prize. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to get out the old trusty pen and start putting it to paper. And yeah, I'm gonna have to create some documents. And we might just have to see how that goes, but it could possibly lead to businesses being shut down. Could lead to people losing everything they own. Because they didn't want to do the right thing. Because they chose to make it personal. And apparently not even try or attempt to do quality work. I'm not sure if I mentioned it here, but, and this is on a very serious note, if this guy thinks that this is the best, he is in dire need of a mental evaluation. And I am serious. This is by far the worst work I have ever seen in my entire life. And coming from someone that claims to be the best. Absolute worst work I've ever seen. So I'll put that together and try to get the all the photos into a video and post it on here so you all can see the shoddy workmanship. But absolutely just atrocious, hands down the worst work I've ever seen in my entire life.